A new political storm may be forming between the United States and Canada, and this time it's not about trade deals or border disputes. It's about airplanes. Recently, former US President Donald Trump made a bold statement that immediately caught the attention of the aviation and defense industries. He suggested that the United States could remove certification for aircraft built in Canada and even impose a 50% tariff on Canadian-made planes sold in the US. In his remarks, Trump specifically mentioned the Canadian aerospace company Bombardier. If something like this were ever implemented, it would shake one of the most important industries in Canada. But the story goes far deeper than tariffs or politics. Behind the headlines lies a quiet transformation happening in the aerospace world, one that could change the balance of power inside NATO. Inside large hangars around Toronto, thousands of engineers and technicians work on highly specialized aircraft systems. They are assembling and integrating one of the most advanced airborne surveillance platforms currently in operation, the Saab GlobalEye. This aircraft may not look dramatic from the outside. It is based on a sleek long-range business jet, but the technology inside it turns the aircraft into something far more powerful, a flying command center capable of watching enormous areas of airspace. Around 2,000 workers in the Toronto region are directly involved in defense production connected to this aircraft. Their jobs include wiring advanced avionics, installing radar systems, writing mission software, testing sensors, and integrating complex data networks. And when the entire supply chain is included, from machine shops to engineering firms, the program supports thousands more jobs across Ontario. To understand why this aircraft matters so much, we need to look at history. For decades, NATO relied heavily on airborne radar aircraft built in the United States. One of the most famous examples is the Boeing E-3 Sentry, often called a flying radar station. With its large rotating radar dome mounted on top, the aircraft became a central part of NATO's airborne command network during the Cold War. Another important system, the Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawkeye, provided similar capabilities for naval forces operating from aircraft carriers. For more than 70 years, the United States dominated this part of the defense market. If Allied countries wanted advanced airborne surveillance, they usually had to buy American aircraft and operate within American export regulations. But today, that long-standing dominance is beginning to face competition. The GlobalEye system takes a very different approach. Instead of building a massive aircraft based on a commercial airliner, engineers chose a smaller and more efficient platform, the Bombardier Global Express business jet. This long-range jet already had a proven track record carrying executives and heads of state across the world. Now it serves as the foundation for a high-tech military surveillance aircraft. The aircraft structure is produced by Bombardier, while the advanced radar and mission systems are integrated by the Swedish defense company Saab. Many of the components come from European suppliers. And importantly, the aircraft relies far less on American technology than traditional systems. That detail has become increasingly important in today's geopolitical environment. Countries purchasing defense equipment often want greater control over maintenance, upgrades, and future modifications. A system with fewer export restrictions can offer more independence. At the heart of the GlobalEye aircraft is a powerful radar system capable of detecting targets hundreds of miles away. From high altitude, a single aircraft can monitor huge sections of airspace. It can track aircraft, ships, and ground vehicles simultaneously. It can guide fighter jets toward potential threats. And it can share real-time intelligence with other aircraft and command centers. In modern warfare, this kind of situational awareness is incredibly valuable. Fighter pilots can only react to threats they are aware of. Extending the detection range far beyond a fighter jet's onboard radar can dramatically change how our battles unfold. Another important point is credibility. GlobalEye is not just a concept. It is already flying operational missions. Sweden has taken delivery of multiple aircraft and integrated them into its national defense forces. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates also operates the system, using it in real-world conditions in the Middle East. Because of this operational experience, governments considering new surveillance aircraft can review actual performance data rather than relying on theoretical projections. And the timing is critical. NATO currently operates dozens of airborne radar aircraft that were designed decades ago. Many of them are reaching the end of their service life. Maintaining older aircraft becomes more expensive every year, and replacing outdated electronics can be extremely costly. Over the next decade, several NATO members will likely need to decide how to replace these aging fleets. That decision could involve billions of dollars in new aircraft contracts. The United States is also offering its own next-generation system. The main competitor is the Boeing E-7 Wedgetail, based on the Boeing 737 airliner. This aircraft is already used by countries including Australia, South Korea, and Turkey. The Wedgetail is a powerful platform backed by decades of American aerospace experience. However, like most U.S. defense systems, it operates under strict export rules and regulatory oversight. For some countries, those restrictions can influence long-term strategic decisions. As NATO nations evaluate their options, the debate is no longer just about technology. It is also about industrial independence and strategic flexibility. For Canada, the implications are especially important. Programs like GlobalEye allow Canadian engineers and technicians to develop advanced expertise in military aviation. That expertise could later support new projects, including maritime patrol aircraft, aerial refueling tankers, and other specialized defense platforms. In other words, Canada is gradually moving from being simply a buyer of military aircraft to becoming a builder and integrator of advanced systems. Meanwhile, another major debate is taking place in Ottawa about Canada's future fighter fleet. Prime Minister Mark Carney recently confirmed that Canada is continuing payments tied to additional F-35A Lightning II fighter jets. These payments are used to secure long lead components, parts that must be ordered years before the aircraft is assembled. By keeping its place in the production schedule, Canada maintains flexibility while continuing to evaluate its long-term defense strategy. Some analysts have even suggested that Canada could eventually operate a mixed fleet combining F-35 fighters with Saab JAS-39 Gripen. Such an approach could diversify suppliers and potentially reduce long-term costs. Back inside the hangars near Toronto, however, the focus remains on the aircraft themselves. Technicians continue installing radar systems. Engineers run endless software tests. And each completed aircraft goes through extensive ground checks before its first flight. Politics may dominate the headlines. But inside these facilities, the work continues quietly. Aircraft are built, tested, and delivered. And with every new aircraft that enters service, the global aerospace landscape shifts just a little bit more.